we were aware that there was a cancer in AIDS patients called Kaposi sarcoma, or KS, and this was an epidemic that was in the early 1980s through the early 2000s, epidemic of Kaposi sarcoma. And obviously, this mirrored the epidemic of HIV. But cancer isn't generally thought of as being an epidemic disease. But here was a case where it was truly an epidemic of cancer. And so epidemiologists had thought about this quite a lot and came to the conclusion that there must be a virus that is separate from HIV that is causing this cancer. And so my wife and I, Yuan Chang, we decided, well, can we physically subtract out the DNA from a Kaposi sarcoma tumor and compare it to healthy tissue DNA and find the differences between the two? And if there are any differences, then maybe those differences are due to the virus. So that's what we did. We used a technique called representational difference analysis. And essentially what that does is it allows you to compare two samples of DNA and find the differences between them. And when we did that, we found a virus, a herpes virus. It's the 8th human herpes virus, and we call it KSHV. And so that was an example, and it turns out that that virus was transmitted along with HIV to various populations and caused this epidemic at the same time. Now, why did people who were infected with HIV develop Kaposi sarcoma? Well, the reason is because this virus is very sensitive to the immune system. Most people, when they're infected with this cancer virus, can control it just fine, that there's no problem. However, if you're severely immunosuppressed from HIV or from a transplant or certain other diseases, then your body loses control of the virus, and the virus can then initiate tumorigenesis. It can cause a tumor to emerge. We're entering an age in which, if we know the very precise cause for cancer, then we can give a very targeted therapy for that cancer. In the case of Merkel cell carcinoma, for example, some very smart investigators, once we'd found the virus that causes Merkel cell carcinoma, it's called Merkel cell polyomavirus, it was very clear to some investigators that if we could boost the immune system of patients that have Merkel cell carcinoma, then perhaps their immune system could naturally fight the virus that's in those tumor cells. And so they used a drug called a checkpoint inhibitor that boosts the ability of the cells, the immune cells in the body, to attack tumors, and it works particularly well for a virus-caused tumor because the virus has foreign antigens. It has foreign proteins that are recognized by the immune system. So in that case, knowing the precise cause for this cancer allowed a group of doctors to use a new therapy that worked beautifully in terms of controlling this tumor.